Namaskar. Welcome to Ancient Wisdom. Death. A very serious topic. And largely misunderstood one. Today we will see what does ancient wisdom say about death. Somebody has said that there is nothing more certain than death. Or I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said in life there are only two things that are certain. One is taxes, other is death. Now this is half truth. Death is said to be certain. Yes, ancient wisdom also says that. But certain does not mean when and how. It only means it will certainly happen. Anything that is born will die. Anything that has got a beginning has an end. But when and how that end will come is subject to free will to a great extent. That is not pre-decided. And there are 6 ways of death to happen. We will go through those 6. The first one being the collective destiny. Many times in accidents, 20, 30, 40 people die. Were all of them destined to die at the same moment? That is the question asked. Did their horoscopes, all of them, show death at that time? Not necessary. Because the concept of collective destiny and active and passive participation. When you are sitting in a bus, your role is totally passive. The active role is that of driver. The bus goes where the driver takes it. And if the driver is not able to drive properly through a ghat road and the bus falls off a cliff, everybody in the bus is likely to die. This is collective destiny, something that happens to everybody. Tsunami flood. Small villages by the side of the sea were wiped out completely. Everybody died. And that is where we are playing a passive role on the screen of destiny. It is the active role that matters and overpowers everybody below it. So that is the first type, collective destiny. The second one is death by prarabdha. Prarabdha is something that you bring into life yourself. It is pre-decided. We can also call it predisposition. So that predisposition may be a weak heart, weak kidney, nature to get into accidents, and this leads to death, an early death perhaps, but this is called as the death by prarabdha. An example of both these, collective destiny as well as prarabdha, we can look at Ramayana. Kumbhakarna had nothing to do with Rama. Indrajit had nothing to do with Ram. But they were connected with Ravan. And because Ravan was fighting the war, they had to fight the war and they had to die. Collective destiny. Similarly, so many Asura in Ravan Sena had done nothing or had nothing against Rama. But they had to die because their king was on warpath. In terms of prarabdha, people who come down or who are born with congenital diseases or strong predispositions, the life becomes limited because of that predisposition, and that is death due to prarabdha. The third one is death due to sanchit, something that one has done in the past, or one's forefathers may have done in the past, or one's countrymen may have done in the past. Racial crimes come under this category. You yourself have not played a part, but somebody in your family, somebody in your community, somebody in your country, and that is why you are at the wrong place at the wrong time. And that is what is sanchit. Darashuko, or the other three brothers of Aurangzeb, were destined to die if Aurangzeb was to become the Alamgir. He couldn't afford them to live. He had to kill them, one way or the other, because if they remained alive, they would always be a challenge to his sovereignty. So it was their sanchit karma that they were brothers of Aurangzeb. Then we come to the next one, which is Kriyaman. Kriyaman is something that we have started. We have put into motion, but we can no more control. The example is that of Fulan Devi. She was a dacoit. Under certain circumstances that befell her, she took up the arms, she became a dacoit, she killed a number of people, she absconded. Then she was given a pardon and she also served some sentence. So legally, she had served the sentence for the wrongs that she had done. Legally, her karma were paid for. But those people that she had wronged in the past, they wanted revenge, and as a result of which Fulan Devi was killed many years later in gunfire. Or for that matter, Osama bin Laden, he was responsible for the fall of the Twin Towers, and he was also responsible for a number of terrorist operations all across the world. This was the karma that he had started. And then he took refuge in the mountains of Afghanistan and then in a safe house in Pakistan. But over a period of 10 years, he was traced out and he was killed for something that was done 10 years ago. It was the retribution. This is a karma that he has put into motion and it has come back to haunt him. Death due to Kriyaman karma. Drunk driving, reckless driving, all these come under Kriyaman karma, where the person himself has set into motion something that brings his death. The fifth is natural death. Natural death is when the body starts becoming old and body parts start saying it is over. I can't bear anymore. And in medical terms, it is called as multiple organ failure. One after the other, the organs give way, and with a whiff of air, life goes away. That is the natural death. And last, the sixth is Ichchamaran. There are certain people who are so full of wisdom and they reach realization in this life itself, and they know when their karma in this lifetime, the avatar karma, is over. Example is Sri Jnaneshwar. Later on, Vinoba Bhave or Veer Savarkar. They realized when their work was coming to an end and they left their mortal body with their own ichha. It is also called as taking samadhi. So this is the sixth way that death can happen. Summarizing, death is certain in that it shall eventually happen, but not certain in terms of when and how it can happen. There are 6 ways that death can happen. The first, collective destiny. Second, prarabdha. Third is sanchit. Fourth is kriyaman. Fifth is natural. And sixth is ichha maran. That is what ancient wisdom says. Namaskar.